Hello, Ironbound Gym, and welcome to another episode of Taiji Swing and Qigong with me. I'm Stan Rockwell. We've been working on the sun style, and we're going to continue that, but we want to start off, as we always do, getting our posture, our balance, and our breathing set up. Remember, you never fully extend or fully compress a joint, so you keep some bend in your elbows, some bend in your knees. You remember that expansion and contraction, the yin-yang principle of Sung. Your body's relaxed but ready, so your muscles aren't totally relaxed, but they're not tight either. They're in a eutonic state. So your foundation is that area below your feet. You visualize a rectangle around the outsides of your feet, and everything inside that is your foundation. And as best you can, you have your feet shoulder width apart and parallel. And you have yourself balanced equally left, right, front, and back, so you can kind of sway around a little bit until you feel like you're settling down in the centers of your feet. You want to ground yourself to the earth, so you can use a visualization from those bubbling well acupressure points in the center of each forefoot, having an energetic connection down into the earth, or that three-point stance of ball of the foot at the base of the big toe, ball of the foot at the base of the little toe, in the center of the heel, just drilling down into the earth. And keeping enough arch in your feet. If you have flat feet and that tends to bow your knees in, you bring your arches up till your knees are pointed in the same direction as your toes. Your knees are always going to be somewhere behind your toes, even when we step out like this. Knees and toes are in the same direction and behind the toes. Once you're grounded to the earth, you want to ground yourself upwards to the heavens. There's a byway acupressure point, the crown chakra. You can visualize yourself being pulled up there by an energetic connection or a line attached there. As it does so, it makes you taller. It lengthens your spine and stacks the vertebrae on top of each other, and it starts to make some changes to your body. Hips become parallel to the floor. The tailbone drops down a little bit, and the hips move back just a little bit. Flattens out your stomach, flattens out your lower back, gives your spine a bit of a J shape. Tops of your shoulders become parallel to the floor and relax down a center line. An invisible line across your eyes and ears becomes parallel to the floor, so your head's not tilted left or right. And also the back of your head is lifted up, chin tucks in a little bit and moves your head back, so it's nice and balanced on your shoulders, so that at this point, if you were to drop a line from that byway, it would go straight down through the center of your neck, through the center of your body, through the perineum, and hit the floor in the middle of your foundation. And if you were to drop a line from your earlobe, it would go through the center of your shoulder, center of your hip, and the center of your ankle, and there's some bend in your knees. So you're doing the least amount of work you need to do to stay upright. And you're centered and balanced in all directions in harmony with gravity. So then just focus on your breathing, inhaling through your nose, down to your diaphragm, so you feel an expansion all around here, around hip level. You touch the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth behind your front teeth, connecting two energy channels in your body, but also disengaging the muscles in your jaw so you can't clench your teeth. As best you can, you breathe in through your nose, so you warm up the air, add some humidity to it, start to filter it a little bit before it gets down into your throat and lungs. You pull the diaphragm down to bring that air down, but the 70% rule applies to that too. Don't inhale as deeply as you can. On the exhale, pull that pelvic floor up to move as much air out as you can. And when we're doing forms, you can breathe out through your nose. At this point, you can breathe out through your mouth, and as you do, you release the tongue and you sigh. So it would be an inhale, an exhale. And with that sound, you let whatever tightness is inside, whatever tension is inside, just flow out and away from you with that sound, and it just dissipates and disappears. As you breathe, just focus on how the air feels as it goes in and out. Make the exhale last a little bit longer than the inhale, so if you inhale on a count of 4 or 5, you exhale on a count of 6, 7, or 8. And just breathe on your own. If you feel any tightness, any tension anywhere, just doing a scan of your body. Just breathe into that tightness. Let it soften. Let all the muscles in your face relax. We're going to do a pretty short Qigong sequence that loosens you up from top to bottom. And starting at the top with the neck, you let your arms float up with your palms facing as you inhale. Turn your hands towards you as you press in and drop the elbows. You push your head back a little bit. Feel some movement in your neck. You turn your hands and you press out. As your hands come down, you tuck your chin just a bit. Feel some more movement in your neck. It's an inhale. And an exhale. And an inhale. And remember that principle of song, the expansion of the arms outwards. Exhale down. Come back to the center. Second for your neck, the arms float up again with the palms facing. One hand comes down, bend in the wrist, palm faces towards the floor, other arm folds over so the palm lines up with the forehead. Remember, it's the Lagong point in the third eye or upper dantian. You're keeping connected as you turn just your head and your arm to that side. As you exhale, you inhale back to the center as the lower arm comes up. Exhale. And inhale. Two more on each side. Back to the center, and then it's onto your shoulders, and it starts off with forward shoulder rolls. Remember, if you have issues with your rotator cuffs, just rotate your arms or your palms faced behind you. You make these circles with your elbows, but otherwise it's just a nice big old roll. The shoulders get nice and loose. And then just reverse. Second one for the shoulders is when you balance everything out. We do this at the end as well. It's an inhale up and an exhale down. And you hold the ball, and the next couple are further back. Lower hand's going to rotate out and press up. Upper hand's going to press down, so you feel some stretch. As you exhale out and inhale to the center. And then you come back to the center. I've got this hand on top. It's my right hand. If you're mirroring me, it's your left hand. Just going to rotate just from the hips up, so everything from the hips down stays still. And when the hands line up with the hip on that side, you just turn the hands around like you're holding a ball, keeping your palms lined up. You rotate to the other side. What you don't want to do is move from the hips down, because then you're putting stress on your knees and you're also not really moving your back. This is a good one to do seated, so if you're sitting in a chair, it lets you know if you're moving anything from the hips down. Next one is for your hips, so you have your hands at the one side like you're pushing into a wall. You shift your weight into the foot on that side, reach out, touch, come back. It's an exhale and an inhale. You can use this as a balance exercise as well. Same one for this one. Hands towards the floor. Hands go back a little bit as your foot goes forward. Either foot, it doesn't matter. Heel touches, arms come back to the center. Forefoot touches, arms go ahead. Forefoot touches behind. You can synchronize your breathing, so you're inhaling in one direction and exhaling in the other. Shift to the other side. And just best you can, your foot goes in a straight line so it's not swinging around. Because right now that pendulum's going straight down and it's right in the middle of this weighted foot. And you don't even have to touch the foot you're moving down if, again, you're working on balance. First position with the feet, toes towards corners, space between your heels, and it's the beginning position for sun. I'm just going to counterbalance the foot on the opposite side as the foot reaches forward and the forefoot touches. So you keep yourself balanced again over the weighted foot. And it's an exhale and an inhale. Let's do one more on each side. And then the next one, remember, we go into a forward bow and arrow stance or archer stance. So you shift your weight, unweighted foot turns on the forefoot, steps straight up with where the toes were, so you have some space between your feet. Shift your weight so really your shin is almost perpendicular to the floor, so your knee doesn't go beyond your toe. And you punch with the opposite arm, and remember that expansion, so you get a really nice stretch throughout your whole body. Although this one really focuses on the knees, but it also sometimes gives me a chiropractic adjustment in my neck. Been at the computer this afternoon, so I could use that. And back to the center with the feet parallel. For the ankles, shift your weight into one side and it's the heel and toe. Same thing on the other side. And then inside the foot touches close to the same spot as you can, so you just focus on the ankle. And you just shake everything out. And if you want, you can just kind of walk around and open and close your hands. Typically do that at the beginning. In live classes, we sort of walk around and say hello to each other anyway, so I usually forget that one. But anyway, here, it's just to loosen up your fingers. If you look back at the prior videos, we have warm-ups where we do more for neck and shoulders and hands and wrists, elbows. So you can go back and review those if you want. Let's do the form up to where we finished last time, and I will face you first and hopefully keep my left and right straight and mirror you. So when I shift this way and move my right foot, you're moving your left foot and step up with your left foot. So, you ready? Let's begin. Opening form. Open, close, single whip to your right, looking back to your left, and then wave hands like clouds. Remember, the foot comes completely off the floor, and little cat feet steps so you don't make any sound. Open, close, single whip the opposite direction. Wave hands like clouds. Open, close. And it's a weight shift into your right foot, so you can adjust your left foot to 45. Hands come up like you're going to throw the pie at somebody. If you need to rebalance, you come in and take a T-step. Right hand takes that right foot around, presses it down. Just shift your weight into it. Left hand, left foot come forward and settle your wrist in a little follow step. You again move that wrist so you activate those acupressure points in your wrist, and you adjust your hands so you can step back and play the peepaw or play the loop. It's that arm lock. So once we went over last time, we're brush knee, play the peepaw. Going to your right side. So I'll face the other way. And I'll try to do it leading with my left foot, which is the way it's traditionally done. But honestly, whatever way feels best for you. Unless, if you're doing it with a group, yeah, everybody wants to stay in sync. But if you're just doing it by yourself, everything is done equally on each side except for that one step. So march to your own drum. Nice and balanced. Shoulders nice and relaxed. And begin. Open, close, single whip, wave hands like clouds. 1, 2, 3. Open, close, single whip, wave hands. Open, close, end of section 1, beginning of section 2. Brush knee push. Play the lute. So here's where we are. And I'll just go ahead and show you the next movement. You don't have to try to do it yet. You can just watch. You're going to adjust your hands so your palms are facing each other. And the first step, that front foot's going to come down 45 degrees. As you shift your weight into it, your hands cross. They flip. Next foot comes down 45 degrees. Hands cross. Then you make fists. Arm in the front tilts over. Foot comes up and it comes down toes straight ahead. Lower arm comes up and punches across. And there's the follow step. So it does feel a little bit of silk reeling or a little bit of a torque coming across. So the feet, the footwork in this one is done this way because of Bagua. And we mentioned in the beginning that Sun Lutang was a Bagua master, Bagua Zhang, which is basically walking in circles very quickly. And I don't have room enough here to show it very well, but they kind of push with their hip and kind of lead with the toe when they do it. It's considered the young internal martial art to Taiji Chuan's yin internal martial art. You start there. Foot comes down 45 degrees, step, toe straight ahead, follow step. So it's step, 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 3 steps. If you lose count, that's normal when you're first start out, but you want to wind up, since we're going to the right, with our right foot in front, because eventually we're going to turn like that. And if you wind up with your left foot in front, you end up crossing your legs and having to step back. So, and the hands are just turn, cross, whichever hand. If we're going in the other direction, it's whatever hand's furthest from you goes palm down, whatever hand's closest to you goes palm up, and they cross, flip, cross, fists, punch. So you wind up almost like a Big Dipper formation with your arms, and in Chinese philosophy, the 7 stars of the Big Dipper, even your body is kind of a representation of that. The North Star is up here at the Ba Wei, and the other 6 stars are the joints: wrist, elbow, shoulder, hip, knee, ankle. One's yang, one's yin. Like I said, there's philosophy to every one of these movements, and you don't need to worry about that. So we do it from the back, so maybe you can see it from all angles. Adjust your hands, the palm down, step, palms cross, step, palms cross, make fists, punch. So start here at the peepaw. Adjust your hands. Step, palms cross, step, palms cross, step, punch. Different folks have different ways of remembering or counting the steps. Had one teacher that counted off duck, duck, goose, or duck, duck, go, or whatever works for you. But what works best for me is just calling out the name of the movement and step up to parry and punch. So you can just go parry, parry, punch. So you parry with each side and you wind up punching. So since we're going to the side, you should be able to see the arms for the most part, I think. So we'll go at the beginning of section 2. We'll do open and close. Brush knee push to the right, so you have left hand higher than the right hand fingers towards your forearm. Step back. Little T-step. Right hand takes the right foot around, presses it down, shift your weight, brush knee, step back, play the lute, step up to parry, and punch. Let's do it a couple more times, because that's the first longer move we do, and it tends to be sometimes confusing. Open, close, brush knee, play the lute, parry, punch. I'll face you and mirror you this time. Open, close. Try to go slow too. Let's see, I want to go to your right, so I got to go to my left. Open, close. Brush knee. Play the lute. Parry, punch. One more time. Open, close, brush knee, play the lute, parry, punch. Now the next, here where you can see a little better. Next movement is very simple. Just open your hands, have your palms facing down. Step back, and as you do, your hands cross and your hands come back towards your hips. As that front foot toe comes up, then it comes in. And that's apparently closing, or apparent close up. And then you just step up, so we already know the footwork. Push the mountain, the follow step. It's called, sometimes in the longer forms, called carry the tiger, to push them out, and then folks will visualize a little baby tiger across their arms. But it's apparently closing, push the mountain. And the push part is taught a couple of ways. Sometimes it's taught with folks pushing, actually extending their arms. For many, many years, my teachers taught me to never push like that. The way you pushed was you visualize a kind of an axis through your shoulders that your arms are on. You don't change the bend in your elbows. You push like this with your arms coming up. Because remember, energy comes up from the earth and your feet. You use the biggest muscles in your body, which are your legs, and they're what's doing the pushing. Because what you're doing is catching someone in here and pushing them up on their toes. And a good experiment for this is you stand in front of a wall, and if you push and just extend your arms out, you basically push yourself back over. If you come up and you keep that bend in your elbow the same, you really feel it in your back foot. You're pressing in, and sometimes folks practice sinking their chi, just doing that, pressing into the wall, pressing themselves down into the earth. going to turn around and let's do the whole thing up through that, because remember the last two, you just relax your hands, come back, push in the footwork. What we already been doing. It's that sun style Taiji walking. So just relax, get centered, and begin. Arms come up and down, a little bend in the knees, shift your weight right, adjust your left foot, step up left, extend your arms, right foot comes up, back, open, close. Single whip. Wave hands like clouds. 1, 2, 3. Open, close. Single whip. Eyes look back to the right. Left hand takes on the left foot. Wave hands. Open, close, brush, knee, push, play the loop, step up to parry, and punch. Apparently closing is also sometimes called a parent close-up or block and close. Just step back, hands drop back, and push the mountain. And that's the end of the first part of section 2, so just leave your hands where they are. Turn on the ball of the left foot, shift your weight into that foot, turn on the ball of the right foot, so your feet are parallel, shoulder width apart, pointed straight ahead, and it's open and close. And we'll go over that a little bit more next time, but even that's something you can practice. It's a follow step. As you turn, you drop the heel and turn. And you can see why you don't want to wind up with the other foot in front, because when you turn, you're going to have to swing it around like that. So just remember to practice, and we'll do the cool down and just relax. We didn't do the Taiji Swing earlier. Let's do that. Let's add the drum where you tap just inside the shoulder, just below where the collarbone connects there. Make a pressure point for your lungs. Base of the rib cage. And then the qua, the inguinal crease, just inside the hip. And then that lower dantian. Remember, if 3 dantian translates as elixir field, just go back to the swing. It's basically where the third eye is, the heart chakra is, and the lower dantian is 3 finger widths below your belly button and 2 or 3 finger widths inside your body. Some electromagnetic fields associated really with your brain, your heart, and your enteric nervous system. And then just come back to center, come up on your toes, tense everything up as you inhale, exhale. Let all the tension flow out, so it's an inhale, exhale, one more, and a little working on your loosening up your legs. You just want to balance everything out as an inhale up and exhale down. Thank you for joining me. Stay safe, healthy, and well, and keep practicing and have fun with it. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.